and we're going to get 2 skies, which I don't think we've had so far.
I don't think, I don't think we've seen the 2 skies, but I think we have seen a little bit more of the Gecko.
How was the playoff bracket decided? Randomness.
When we watched
so they
playing
did.
Defense against Na'Vi,
Before, when they initially announced it, they said that they had like a, I guess a formula for it in terms of who would go where. But I think they realized that the Group A or the first group had such an advantage that they changed it, so it's now random.
Flashes for his teammates, and it's going to buy time for their team to kind of swarm out and deal with this attack.
Yeah, well, the thing is,
he BBL 5 times fast? Surely that's BBL, 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 BBL. That's fine, dude. That's not even a tongue twister. Don't even try that one here.
Well,
need a better one.
Dig deep in here because it is an elimination match, and it's time
the
to
draw should be live though. That is one thing that I have talked to them about before. I actually I was actually annoyed at the second Iceland that I asked to see the live draw, because I was like, man, why do we never get to see the live draw? So I asked them to prove that it was a live draw, and they did.
The bottom bracket of the group stage, and heading into Bind.
But they should stream it.
I think the desk said it very well. I think we also have to look towards that Breach and Fade head-to-head here in the composition, since those are the key differences. And with Koi, you do have, well,
dude,
Lauren's not even here.
3 frenzies.
Well, we are jumping into a technical push straight out of the bat. As soon as it's fixed, we'll get jumping into the match straight away. But I think what's something interesting here for BBL, and the Desk definitely touched on it, is the fact that Ascent isn't the first choice for BBL. Instead, it's Bind. I've got a feeling here. Wait, is BBL replacing the Turkish powerhouse go-to map pick here after Ascent being not really what they would have liked when they played against Na'Vi, losing 13-6, and then being able to succeed on Bind? You know, kind of bring the idea. Wait, this is the go-to map now for Turkish teams. Maybe not for Foot. For
Mr.
BBL,
Monster, thank you so much for the gifted. Thank you.
They looked really good on Bind. That is
totally
undeniable.
Welcome in.
But again, now that we've addressed that technical pause, I do want to still go back to that head-to-head between the Fade and the Breach. The difference there is that you are going to have a lot more opportunity for some of these set plays on the side of BBL, some of those trap plays as well with that Breach utility. But it's also the sacrifice where you look over on the
draw
Koi
stream.
side,
Yeah,
with that
dude,
Fade,
everyone wants to see a live draw. I don't know why. People never do it.
There, I think, is pretty important as far as how you're able to continue to cycle that up, especially with the fact that for the side of BBL, the only information you're looking towards is going to be Reezy on that sky. And with
that was Na'Vi Liquid. Sorry, Split was really good. Split was really good. Breeze was okay. Breeze was okay. Na'Vi look, I'm telling you, Na'Vi look back to, like, I'm not saying, I don't mean they're gonna win a LAN when I say this, but they're looking back to Copenhagen, like Copenhagen level where it was. If we win a pistol, we have the best chance of converting the 3rd round, and that means that we can just snowball halves and just have dominant halves. And that's how they pretty much won Copenhagen in my books. I mean, obviously they had set strats, but I think they were just better at other teams in terms of converting and getting a crazy start. And if we even just look at their 2 games, they've done it successfully on a lot of the maps. Ascent attack, I think they did it. Or was it Ascent defense? I can't remember. Both of the games against Liquid here, in terms of their attack on Split, their attack on their defense, sorry, on
this is definitely an opportunity for them to show that against BBL.
A lot of pressure in that kind of regard. I think especially that Limelight being on start. So not just the champion that you are mentioning here, but also slotting into this IGL role for the very first time. Can he lead this team to success? But again, this roster also
Mr. Monster with another one as well.
Welcome in. I think that's something that we have to temper our expectations
that's a well
with
placed,
a little bit. They were lacking
gifted. We like that one.
Depth the other day in their
Mr.
last
Thank you for doing that.
And we saw a lot of that success there on the attacking side. What I'm worried about is every single map, Koi are going to be starting on the attack. Can they even close a map out on the defense?
That's the thing, right? Defense has been quite the
Does Vitality have a good chance against Fnatic? Right? They have a chance. I'm not saying it's a good chance. They have a chance.
First, we'll get them on the right foot, but you know they can't get into their own heads with the defense being such a strong point for them. That's definitely something to take into consideration.
They've kind of shown. They've shown a little bit.
Probably the right approach for them, right? Wouldn't you agree? Of course, you know, starting things off on the
Fnatic
right
have a
foot
big
for them.
advantage.
Getting into
They've
Bind
shown
as well, a map
Vitality
where
have
they've
shown
been
a
able to
little
keep
bit,
close
and they
score
have a
with Team Liquid,
stand-in.
13-11. You can't shy away from that at all. It's
But
actually
yeah,
a
I
very
would give them
decent
like
score
I would give them
considering,
like
you're probably looking at the top
35%.
3-4 teams of EMEA.
Maybe
If you want to be
that's
competing
too
up
generous
against the
with the
best,
stand-in.
you might want to be able to do so against teams like Team Liquid. But it's time to jump into the matchup. BBL on defense, Koi on attack. As Koi.
Okay, and they decided to go aggro, peek over towards here, and I want to see what the
Protocol
Frenzies
already done
have
towards
got
that B
planned in
side.
this.
Already BBL, they had pushed out towards
Two
Huga.
people
Brave,
playing
though,
close.
Bit of a
That
tough
is
spot. Nice
kind of nice.
back up
Frenzies
at the
might
very
struggle with
least.
some of
Some
this.
stalls
Oh
come
boy.
through, but it doesn't matter. Koi
Yeah.
already have the sight.
Yeah, they do indeed.
Dude, I'm telling
And
you,
it seems like
Frenzies-
Koi have gotten a lot
Frenzies
more than
equal
that as well.
wins.
Camo to the back of it has gotten 2 kills of his own, and they've gotten full control. The spike doesn't need to go down, and if you're killing all your opponents at the end of the day, it's a gun game. And they'll just toy with Reezy and Power. But Reezy might want to find a kill of his own before he drops. Power won't be able to do
Very
the
nice.
same. Shadow with a double in the end.
Very,
Allow
very nice.
Koi to
Frenzies
get
come
first
out on
blood.
top.
Yeah, I am a little bit surprised at the positioning I think we saw from BBL off the gate there into the pistol. They're playing pretty far
Going back to
forward
the
on
more
the A
Frenzies,
site,
more
despite
wins
having
that we're
gone through
talking
a
about.
lot
Was
of
it
that
last year?
early
It was like
information
America's
on
Ascension
B
last year, where that
outside
was
of
like
Luka.
true for every
So
game we
I
watched.
think for BBL, their Brave wasn't necessarily expecting Koi to be already ahead of that Molly. So close to that choke point, just ready to just kind of bust down the door in that kind of regard.
You love the cycle
Now,
of Frenzy
Anti-Eco
nerf. People use it
incoming
less.
here, and
A team start
BBL,
using
they
it
look to
again.
play that
Everyone
numbers
uses the
game, play that
Frenzy.
stack,
Frenzy
because
gets
Pora
nerfed.
alone on
Yeah,
B
it is that.
does
It's still
have that
crazy strong.
ability to solve.
I think there's definitely a
Koi
lack of
are
Frenzies.
4 out of 4 in the past pistols that they've gotten, and 4 out of 5 in this tournament.
Especially
as
when
a
people,
whole.
like,
Unfortunately,
group
weren't able
up
to
so
use that
heavy
to their
now.
advantage to close out a map against Team Liquid, but maybe it can.
Pistols are
it
all
will
about
pay a
the
difference here.
overwhelm,
BBL are
and
strong.
it is the best
Right
gun
round
to
tough for Team
overwhelm for
Liquid, but
pistols in my books.
This consistency
People
BBL
like a
brings,
one-tap, though, with the ghost.
something that Steele mentioned on desk. You need to make sure that your performance today supersedes that consistency that BBL brings. And
The
whether
problem
they're
for
able to do it for
BBL,
now, it's
I
a
mean,
very slow
both these
paced
teams
approach,
played this
very
map,
similar
right?
to what we've seen, right? You know, you don't want to over-aggress. You want to get that early information. BBL, on the same hand, they've stacked up onto this A site, and that's Koi basically trying to figure out where's the stack going on. And I think they might have discovered it, given that Stark so pushed so far forwards into this B site. No one there allows his team to move in with him.
I mean, I really like Pora's positioning right now at the very least. Hookah
Yeah,
left
Pora at
not
least
to be
gets
cleared,
good
but
info
Koi,
here. He might
they're
get a
gonna
very
be
good
aware of
timing.
that
Does he go
fact
around
that
the
they
corner
have
before the
not
brim?
gone
He is really
cleared
good.
into those
Is he going to go
close
down
quarters.
long,
Pora's
or is he going to go
already
join
walked
his
all
team?
the way
Yeah,
out,
they
just
feel like they've
ships in
owned
the
it with the
night,
stack, but
clear it
actually...
out, market the
And then
read
now
is
Pora is
here
probably
now,
telling
though,
his team
for
to not
BBL. You
TP
hear
because he
that
has a really good
rotation
timing
look to come through,
and
30
doesn't want to
seconds
give
on the
sound
clock, a
keys to
free
wreck this
site
one.
to
Before
plant
people spawn,
here for
Pora
Koi.
is getting spotted
For
out
BBL,
though
it's
from
about the damage you can
Grabinho.
do into this round. You've still got a fault line to work with in the aid.
50-50 gamble didn't quite work out early. Power showing his presence in B, and Koi instantly put all their forces together to try and take on that fight. The death ball approach. And now BBL provided space to move into. But of course, with weapons that can spray in the direction, as soon as they touch those spikes, it will be their demise, really. Stark, so nice little double kill. And he's only got the ghost. The only player with a ghost team gets most of the kills. And Power, the player that was close to the action the entire time, is the one that is left alive by the end of it. Won't want to give away an orb to the other
TMV has
side,
2.5 your viewers. How do you feel? I mean, that's sick. That's good for him, dude. I like TMV.
You really just had to call Power out like that.
Trust me, I don't want to get too big. I think that fame is a horrible, horrible thing. It only ruins people. If we can stay at low levels, it's good.
Worried that someone else on Koi was going to come and try to re-clear towards Hookah and flank back around, but anti-eco now. Weapons in the hands of BBL. Looking towards the ultimate economy. Koi, they've been very focused towards Shadow and Stark, so to try and cycle either of those up. Not
Outlaw,
likely to see them coming into this round. But we've
light
seen
armor, so he is not going to be able to.
Koi has been
He is not
going
going to be able to tap anyone here.
On
Double body shot for this.
Trying to push those extremities. They're watching now. Okay, no damage.
Definitely trying to get the basics right. Stark so moves up a little bit closer. That outlook can be so scary. But for BBL, I don't think it'll be that concerning. They've got 4 shields all across the board. It's a risk you always take facing an outlaw on these situations. And ever since the Fnatic buy has been favored.
Dog pressure, they see 2.
But for now, slow and steady as we know it for Koi. But this time they do pivot towards this A site. Slowly but surely, Spike looking in that direction. And it might end up being the hit at this 1 minute mark.
Yeah,
Dog goes out over towards long.
Spots
Spots one. And the Sky Flash here as well. This is nice. That's going to bring the rotate back over. We will keep an eye on Pora because he still is just staying spawn, has a good stun, can stun the line here, and then potentially we still get the nade on defense as well. Could definitely combo 30 seconds. Root up, 3 passing, sorry, 4 passing stack.
4 to defend. It's going to be the best case scenario
Looking
for
good
BBL. The paint
for
shots
BBL here.
hit the smoke as soon as Koi looked to approach, but 25 seconds, they're cutting this close, very close.
Now there's some hesitancy. They're faking.
Yeah,
they're sound baiting to try and bait that rotation over. Guiding Light will give it away.
Oh, but now they have to move in, and there's no other solution to this. They can't even rotate to the TV, even if they had the time. It's still a lead that comes off on top, and Brave doubles up. BBL have got all players here, and they're able to deal with it without a problem at all. Starkso finds another one. I think they might barely have enough time. Shadow's got him covered, and that's a spike down. Reezy's left in a 1v2. And this has gone upside down.
What a bailout, by the way. What a bailout from Shados.
At the very least, but this toxic screen gives really nice cover. Reezy, nothing to work with in his kit.
Pros don't fake. Have you heard of that? Or Reezy does stop it at halfway, and Starkso peeks out together with Shados. That's 3-0.
Gotta give Shados his props here.
I mean, looking reminiscent of this matchup that they had up against Team Liquid.
I think BBL did really good in this one. Again, I'm a big fan of their bind right now. I actually think it's really, really nice.
But what's a bit concerning is BBL, you would expect things to be, I think, a little bit closer this early on the match.
Very nicely done.
When their matchup against Na'Vi, where they were really shining on defense, were those retake situations. We're not seeing that same kind of
3 rounds in, we get the replay.
A bit of disconnect there.
Yeah, this was
some of the moves.
A lot down to Shados on that one.
But
Flash goes in, they get a bit of info that people are over towards here.
Yeah, I love the reaction cams from the coaches. We're like, how on earth did they win that? We've got better players. BBL will definitely have to prove otherwise. You know, Turkish teams known for Turkish aim, and they've got to make sure they make up for it this time around. Aggression coming out here from Hookah, and Grabinho's got it covered. Seems like Koi are anticipating this, and it's perfect. But if you look on the other side, it is 2 players. It would be a 1v2, and Grabinho has a chance to be traded out. Oh, but the patience game.
I mean, they don't need any more, right?
Koi will start to move in, and it's actually the Sheriffs to find
2 guns, weird
here.
situation now. 2 guns down. Are they going to try push for the guns? Are they going to try and hold for the guns? Spike down also. I cannot believe they've left Pora on his own.
On the other side, Starkso trying to walk out towards A here as well.
Yeah, it's interesting that PBL don't pivot more players. Brave caught out with his pants down.
Wait, sorry, Brave on his own.
Starkso on the lurk on A, that's an interesting one. The spike has been collected, and with Starkso getting A site control, definitely causes his team to try and join him on that site.
Yeah, this was, dude, I really think BBL misplayed the situation there.
30 seconds on the clock again. Curious to see if this is a pattern that we see from Koi.
They did good to get it in that situation in the first place.
It's worked out for them in the past. A free site, or a free site to get that plant down, but BBL looking to play numbers. Instead, though, they're not actually
Dude, look at the Seekers, man. What are they doing? They interact so weird with the truck.
It will still just be the Sheriffs into the retake.
Well, the Seekers has definitely alerted Koi of where
took them 5 seconds to work out what they wanted to do.
It's just a matter of BBL or how much of a freebie are they willing to give. Maybe with a stun, they'll try and find a pick. Other than that, I can imagine they might fall victims to the spike explosion to avoid giving over the orb. Shados kill on power. Starkso as well, wanting to chime in and buff those stats up. And Kushner, the only one remaining. They know exactly where he is, but make it explosive. Go down with a bang. You might as well do that.
Yeah, just try and keep somebody around, if not both, but
still good damage. Big buy round is the one that matters. They at least got Seekers out of them. So there's a few ults out of here.
As their matchup against Team Liquid.
Now, Koi can't afford history to be repeated here, right?
It's a good point. They started off hot, but I think the difference there was Team Liquid was also a team that really needed that time to kind of warm up into the reads here that they found on Koi and making that later adjustment.
Didn't quite catch the name there, but happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday to whoever's name was on there. I also didn't catch it. The leaves were in the way there, but...
Why teams don't punish
for BBL,
Sentinels on this map? A lot of the time, people just do this.
As comfortably as possible with their economy.
The problem is, right, you're saying that they should be pushing, right, more. But it's like, when can you feel confident to push? Everyone just holds like a, what we used to call in Liquid, just a Fnatic default, probably Na'Vi the more one that sticks out, because I guess against Paper X, everyone kind of remembers that. But this is why you hold one of those defaults when you have no Sentinel, you're just trying to punish the push behind. So it is like, when do you do it? We used to have a thing where it'd be like 50 seconds when we'd start doing it. That's kind of sweet spot when teams decide, but it's very easy when we can see the minimap, just being like, oh, they can push now, but when you're in game, you have no idea.
Provided the space, and BBL going to be confident to pull all their chips into one basket. Grabinho not allowing them to get too comfy, but the spike is left into no man's land. Has to be
I kind of like the Koi wall here. It does the similar thing in terms of blocking pressure, but they also block over towards spawn.
Uncomfortable here for Koi. Spike down towards triple as well. 3 players holding.
Oh my god, not a single player of Koi can cross BBL.
Yeah, and this would be a lovely run for BBL if they can not lose anyone else, because they're also starting to get some ults into these rounds, which will make them a little bit easier.
Doing it together. Brothers in arms, and it's left Shadow to himself. Man shaking his head, wondering what happened.
Yeah, sure,
they thought they had this round under lock and key, but this is all it. This is what she wrote. 10 seconds remaining, and he's got a TP away. This round is going to BBL. With 4
yeah, that's perfect for them. Good amount of money. 1 death, 2 armor rebuys.
On the scoreboard, getting their first round on Byte.
And that's a shift coming out from Koi in this strategy as well. They were trying to go with.
Do you think the Sky Nuff increased the skill ceiling?
Early, slow, patient default
I think it had too much to do with skills. I mean, I get what you're saying, to be fair. You talk about like when you play Sky, you have to just think about what you're using more. A little bit, yeah. You don't have to be as like routine based, and it's kind of more situational when you should be using it. So yeah, the best thing that came from it is just change of comms. This year would have sucked, man. If they didn't have the Sky Nuff, this year would have sucked.
The spike posture towards B side again.
But it's awesome at the moment, to be honest.
There's been that theory crafting.
Everyone has a different take. Every region's using like different agents heavier.
These guiding lights early on, they don't refresh anymore. It doesn't seem like that's really changed as far as the play style.
Yeah.
It's so soon after the nerf, to be fair.
Just as long as you've got some other utility enter the site after.
I mean, that's why you're seeing the double initiator starting to come through here for most maps.
But there is an approach on this B site here, and there's 3 defenders for it, getting
Contact's
really scary.
done. Could reswing.
They've got to read it out, but the Trailblazer might be reading it first.
Great fault line.
Yeah, and they were ready to swing off this. That's what they normally do. Viper Wall should be coming up.
Throw in a dog of their own. It's just a patience game, and the utility from BBL is keeping them back for
Koi
now.
should be pretty happy here. Yeah, I was going to say that. Koi should be pretty happy with just how much util they invested. Seekers goes in all here. Tempted to TP. Smoke came in a little bit too late. That was nice. Brave just survives. It was a nade to his left. Everyone TPs. Elite's in position. 1 molly. Should throw that down to Showers now. All that.
That's a beautiful shot onto Camel.
Oh man, he played this way better than him. That was sick.
This guy's a genius. And he wants to peek out as well. Shadow this time around interrupts it, and Koi find the upper hand.
4 HP, 9 HP.
BBL players are very low, but for Koi, the spike is down.
Got the opportunity to try and get that heal up. We're going to see Brave able to get a little bit more of that health back, but Reezy is so low in this situation. No utility to work with anymore.
No, that's the last guiding light being thrown out. They know where Grabinho is, but it's a matter of knowing where Shadow is. Do they expect him to be all the way behind? Sneaky man peeking through. It's a rush break it, but gets the job done eventually. And Reezy is the player with least health to his name.
Not.
And somehow finds Grabinho and knows exactly where Shadow is. No longer in the spike means he's got less time to work with.
Missed his opportunity with this one. I feel like he had to at least get half, but
it's Shadow to win it. It's a
the fact he's low HP, he's probably expecting the swing a little bit earlier.
You saw Shadow
BBL, win a round, lose the next one, 1,900 loss bonus. One person can't buy, 4 of them can. Big decision to make, for sure.
They take it back, they seize that momentum back into their hands. For BBL, you've got the Viper's Pit available here for Elite. So we could see just initial denial, likely of short, off the gate there towards the A side, allowing BBL to shift some of their resources elsewhere. But I'd like to see BBL maybe being a little bit more proactive. I think that
on this map, yeah, that's what I'd be leaning towards Desper, without a doubt.
But the difficulty was again,
get a little judge out.
In the tank.
Who do you think will make from Madrid and Pacific?
Also, with no Showers control as well, knowing that the pivot.
If it was different groups, I would have said Paper X and T1.
And it's where those mid-round adaptations that actually make the difference in
But
rounds
now
like
I
that,
have
right?
no
It's
idea.
when you're able to make the decision.
The games
to
are
rotate
interesting.
around, you know, catch out the rotations. It's not only that, knowing that BBL
I want to
no
see.
longer has those facilities.
I don't know. I don't
to
actually
take
know who I'm
over,
going
you know,
for.
and execute of their
I think I'll
own
go for
for a retake.
DRX.
So definitely
Because
well down here
Genji
from Koi
look
to turn the
great,
tide
but
around in
maybe
their own
they've shown too
favor,
much.
and BBL trying to play catch up right now. They're
And
dropping
then
behind. Remember,
T1
this is
Paper
their
X
own
is
map
actually.
pick. This is a map which they beat.
That is a
Na'Vi,
close
a
one.
map which Koi could have definitely watched yesterday and said, okay, this is how they want
How
it.
is Liquid
Maybe
looking?
Na'Vi
They,
throws it,
they need to win
but
pistols,
we know
to
how
be
deal
honest with you.
BBL here.
The overall stuff is pretty good,
Maybe
and
something to
majority,
take
if I just look at
into
Split, like they
consideration as we
react,
enter round
how they're
number
playing on
7,
Split,
where the streak needs
they
to
would win
continue
against
for
most other
Koi,
teams.
but for BBL, most importantly, you lose this and you're
Like,
back
I don't
into
know.
economic deficit.
Like 30.
Viper's
They would
pick
win.
towards
They would
short
win that
as
against like 30
anticipated.
out
Both the
of
Prowler and Dog used right out the
44 of
gate
the
here from
franchising
Koi
teams, or maybe a
towards
bit
this
more
B
from what we
side.
saw in
We've
terms of their
seen
split.
those
Just the fact that
plays for
Na'Vi
the
is so good at
B split
snowballing.
used in their
But
matchup
Breeze
against
definitely needs a
Team
bit
Liquid,
of. I mean, they
but
got
don't
snowballed.
always push off of it. More so
I'm not worried for them,
that
I guess, is what I'm
information
trying to
that
say.
they're looking to seek. How much map control does BBL have right off the gate?
Ult goes in. We see again Koi just holding a slow default. So every single time, just knowing that they have no sentinel, just really wanting that one round where they can punish the push and make sure that BBL aren't confident to push onto them. Especially in the timeout, you should always be doing that as well.
If that does end up being the case,
Heavy showers to get around the Viper ult.
Island, especially with Shadow working his way back towards market.
Yeah, and it's Camo holding that sight line, but the Painter can do quite a lot of damage. And Camo instead is the one being killed off. A showstopper. No,
does he?
Actually.
Does he?
No, he goes for...
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he was like, well, there's definitely not going to be anyone to the left.
Down by 2 players, BBL have got a clear advantage, and it seems that Shadow wants to get a pick on Elite here. But he's not going to risk moving any
That was
further
nice, you too. I like the
into that
setup from
Viper spin,
BBL.
drops off.
This
15 seconds left.
this
Koi have made the
shower
decision. We're
smoke
holding onto
that
the guns.
Mixwell was doing from like day one in the game, it is a
Even though it's
nightmare.
5
The
to
Viper
1
one way
right
there,
now,
it is
BBL
very, very
has
strong.
Made Koi work for some of those rounds, even if they
I think teams could probably bring it back a little bit more
they were trying to take some of those weapons
as,
out of
as
their
an actual
hands, make it a
default
little
setup
bit
instead of just
more
like an ult
difficult to
setup.
build up that economy.
And we were talking about economy the previous round as well, right? BBL had to win that, and not only do they win it, it's completely flawless by them, right? Not even dropping a single point of health throughout it. Don't need to reinvest into shields. It's going to do favors for them for sure, and it's going to do favors to their morale. Not dropping, you know, tremendously behind, being 3 rounds in reach of Koi, definitely making it a little bit more comfortable as we enter round number 8. A buy round again across the board. Viper Spit still available for Shados. Let's see how this is approached by Koi.
And Koi again, just holding a default. So again, the person that kind of asked in the chat why they not pushing against the Sentinel, it's just because you know this is going to be happening. Especially with how they're not grouping or doing anything like for the first 30 seconds, you know they're holding this. The BBL can't really push, but again, maybe 50 seconds was always the sweet spot that we used to use in Liquid.
Sky Smoke coming out here from Brave to deny that information towards Hugo will force,
or at least try to,
one of those Prowlers out from Shadow if they do want to clear into these close quarters. The Boombot, at the very least, finds a little bit.
You can tell it's an elimination game, right? Every single one of these players is afraid to make a mistake.
Let's see, around 50-second mark, is anyone holding from the pushes? Could go out here, could go out here. So it would work, but obviously if you're trying for showers, you would have met them early.
But you can also be too measured, expending too much utility in one spot just to clear out those angles.
Like Jaws.
Going to be paid for. Camo, first blood, opening up onto this A site. 2 to the back of it, but it's a matter of if Koi decide to push past it. Trailblazer only clears a bit of it at the back end. Instead of moving onto the side,
they have a good amount of.
I
will say, BBL sometimes can use some.
Kushner jumps above, denies a partner. There's only 40 seconds. They've got to move into it quickly. All BBL have to do is deny this spike from being planted, but they're failing to do so.
That was savage. That third shot was really good. Okay, one big criticism I can use to BBL, and I've seen it 3 rounds now, is Koya going slow, right? So there's always like 30 seconds left before they plant, and I think they can just cycle their util a bit better. Like in my eyes, they can cycle their util here. We're using a satchel to go over and stop the plant. We could use a satchel to stop the plant. We're using nade at the same time as breach damage. Like we could cycle these, delay an extra like 15 seconds, and then there's about 10 seconds left for them to plant, and then you can kind of flood or make some hero plays where you're spamming the plant. That's like my one thing. We saw it on that similar round where they were trying to come out towards long B here, and we used like a what do we use? We use Brim. I think they used the Brim, Molly, and breach damage at the same time. So they could definitely cycle their util better for delay.
Who's a very high impact ultimates, Rolling Thunder, Orbital Strike as well. And a map like such as Bind, heavy retakes.
Info over towards short for attack, didn't hit anyone in terms of the Prowler. Dog over towards long, didn't hit anyone as well over towards long. With that information of the dog seeing no one, Boy decide to group up over towards B, and then we look at the minimap, we got 3 here. At the moment, 1, about to become 2 here on B. Boy are looking great right now. This is a big round for BBL. Their money is fully done.
Okay, he actually comes back towards site. I thought he was just going to play fully off-site for the sake of the orbital strike, but they're looking to just deny the push.
He's considering it. They still want to deny this push from coming forward.
Oh, the stay. That was kind of nice. The stun over towards long and then the ult, but I think the ult could have been a bit better.
There might be a sightline cover here from elbow. Camera reason in time. That's incredible. Koi,
yeah, they're all here.
One by one, BBL don't stand the chance. It's
very nice at the moment from Koi.
The Seekers on Stark so were the difference maker in that round as well. Things were getting uncomfortable there for Koi. You saw Camo was stunned up with that showstopper, didn't find anything with it, but the information that they could find with those Seekers, I think
it's a weird Brim ult.
Actually hit some of the players on BBL.
They had the stun over towards long. Could have. It was like in between long and...
Ooh, okay, yeah, you can see the little celebrations. They're like,
okay, they're playing up to it now. Well, the Barbar knows, man. Nice to see him. It's actually nice to see this side of him, though, because last year was a lot of angry replays. So it does make a nice change.
Short space gathered.
Couldn't have been an enjoyable year for him last year, that's for sure.
They can afford to be. They have the weapons advantage. They're looking to just draw out some of that utility from BBL, knowing that they've been pretty quick to the trigger on that. Not able to really capitalize, just looking to kind of stall things out as much as possible.
Enter's getting a bit of info here.
Gone off the gate, but lots of
Quite keeping it relatively simple though. This is 2 rounds in a row. I haven't been paying full attention in what's happening, but 2 rounds in a row where they use Fade util on the other side of the map and then group hit the opposite side.
Instead, he drops back and won't be the case. BBL want to hold and maintain the pressure to the back of the site. Camo opens things up as first blood. Wants to free fire behind the box,
I like this as well. Just taking full back of sight. This whole setup that they've got is really good to take back of sight, especially when these smokes come in, especially when they can kind of get the Viper wall on the go also.
Bucarino was stunned, and Brave takes full advantage. It'll be so hard for him to get across and upgrade.
Smoked himself off, he wants the gun.
The moment the smoke goes down, starts spraying in his direction. And BBL's hopes quashed. As Koi make sure they solidify the spy round of their own, and both players simultaneously drop to the ground. Koi on 8, BBL trailing really far behind with only 2 rounds spare in the half.
Who was IGLing for Koi last year? Cold or Mensa, right? Pretty sure.
Very measured.
I want to say maybe it would mixed a little bit towards the end, but...
BBL, this is their map pick on Bind.
Yeah.
Again, elimination matchup here in the bottom of the bracket within the group stage. But
the banter between Barber and is it Aeros? Yeah, I think it's Aeros. It's unmatched. Barber and Aeros are just the match. Just the goated.
Another straight up default for Koi. This is a bit of a masterclass from them at the moment. It's been nice.
Okay, after seeing some of the shots of Starkso celebrating up against Steel, you're like, okay, this team is all vibes. It's all vibes. You'll have to see it from
yeah, we're going to need the vibes graph after this. Analyst desk, listen up.
IGL, Shadow's IGLing from from what they said in the pre-show. Yes, 2 days ago.
We'd see often from a Sky, but thinks better of it. Throws down a Trailblazer instead to try and gather some information. But the spike left in no man's land means that Koi have yet to make a decision of whether to
he sees him. Goes to the spam.
I mean, they're just trying to see how much they can draw, I think, over towards this A site. We've seen them unafraid to expend that initiator utility to draw the rotations.
This is giving me hardcore old
30 seconds, and it's a similar thing where we show a bit of pressure over towards B with one, the raise at 30 seconds, everyone else is quiet, and then we stroll into A site down their own in the man. They got to stop falling for these one-person baits. They got to stop falling for these one-person baits.
The
It's
reads here
savage.
from Koi are so good. BBL trailing behind the moves.
Smokes again to try to get back to site.
Hasn't gone down crucially enough, and now could have gone down. Kushina ends up falling in the end. Styres align eventually. Rolling Thunder actually giving some cover to Grabinho, but it won't be enough as the sprays are just too immaculate. Shados has to drop by, Snakebite to stop them from following right after him. But Koi, all they have to do is run this clock down. They've managed to get the spike down eventually, and Mustaxa holding this cross line with the op won't let a player pass. But fortunately for Reezy, he doesn't have to pass. He's sticking onto the spike. Halfway defused. The lead finds another pick. Reezy in a 1v1. It's a Sky 1v1 here.
No way.
The Seekers revealing position in the end. Oh, but not much health remaining on Reezy at all.
They just can't catch a break.
Does not permit him.
Nicely played from Starkso here. Shados did
And a bullet
good
to the
work
head.
as well to make this one close.
IGL on the side of Koi is having a game right now. 13-4. Shadow 11-3. I mean, they are
No, I haven't
off.
seen that
And
yet, Nick.
Again, that's cycling into the Seekers, the Nightfall so quickly in this first half. BBL. Man, even just the play from Shados in towards Lamps there into the post plant, they're denying
Starkso's
Lamps as an
playing
option to
outrageous
fully
at the moment.
funnel
13-4,
the
Shadow,
players on
11-3 was that.
Realistically, you can't see
And
BBL to have too
BBL
many options on this one.
finally, Koi get rewarded for holding their default. They spot numbers. Nah, they don't. They're going to walk back into B site. Oh man, they've owned them so bad. This whole map,
as if they don't
the
care.
calling has been so good. They really saw something in the demo that was out there in terms of the over-rotate.
That's a fake. The main fight is going to have to be B.
I mean, all the attention that was pulled, and then you already have Shados moved back towards this B site. Reezy sees the presence.
He does, but how much is that going to make a difference?
Fighting forward.
What? He's just fighting this,
Oh,
but
no.
it's going to be
Oh.
costly. Oh, but a strike available.
Yeah, and he can fire this over towards spawn at one point.
Of way too many weapons here. It's some very useful utility that could have been used for the post plant.
Still has
BBL
a
can't
still
hold
has a
back.
raise
All
nade
three
as well.
players are going to have to go for this last round of the half. There is no other way. It's literally 2 players on this elbow side that could do so much. Camo is low, but he's quick with it. Paint
Lovely delay.
towards Kushina, softening him up, and it's Grabinho to help out. So it is a 3v2. BBL definitely climbing a huge mountain here in this round. One more flash remaining for Power if he's going to make any difference. Elite is holding a really good angle with a snake bite. Is doing damage towards Power, and it will be enough to finish
This
him
is a
off
very
eventually.
good, very
Elite
good
doesn't have
attack
enough
off from
time.
them.
It is
They
diffused
played it
halfway,
so
but
perfect.
it's 2 different directions he needs to look at. Even if
Okay,
he's
Lou,
quick
how
with Grabinho,
are we doing?
even if
Thank
he
you so much
picks
for the
up
prime.
Shados,
Thank you for the 4
it will
months.
not be enough. Double digits for Koi at halftime. Valiant effort for Elite, but it's all she wrote. An excellent round for Koi, an excellent attack, and now they need to finish off what they started on defense.
I mean, this is the way you want to start here if you're Koi. They struggled on defense, but 10-2.
If aside from the competent to default all lanes, nah, because you can just have a camera that spots one in the trips.
Right now, they're going to need to look to get back.
You still sometimes hold
mentally.
defaults,
They
just
need
not
a
as much as
very
this fear.
solid pop-off pistol round to try to bring themselves back into this matchup, but losing this hard on your map pick on such an important match, that's tough.
It throws the conversation of Turkey and BBL claiming bind instead of Ascent in the bin.
Yeah, they fell. They fell for the one-person fakes all the time. It was very nice to watch for Koi. A little bit worrying for BBL, but also you're kind of seeing in some of these games how much difference showing one map can make. Like teams can get really good reads at the moment from one map. I think the Heretics
I mean, BBL,
Koi
we saw the
game was a
player
good
camps.
example. I think this
Sure,
is a
they're
good.
serious,
No,
but they're
sorry.
still chill.
Heretics K-Corp game was a good example. I think this game is a good example
They know that there's lamp pressure coming in from BBL.
of just how savage it can be once you have even just one map out there. The teams to get a read on how they want to play.
I do believe Shadow might have hurt them.
Mr. Monster, thank you so much as well. Thank you for the gifted.
For Shados here to cover his ground.
Just gifting all the locals, basically. I like it, Mister.
Backing into the safe site though.
Frenzy Believers, double frenzy.
How much impact Kushner is going to check it, but it's a lazy
That
check.
is a lazy
to find
check.
one and damage onto the second. Starkzo's nearby. He wasn't even the one nearby earlier. It was Camo.
Oh,
And both Camo and Starkzo
they got their own frenzy though.
Turning the tide of this game.
Yeah, it might be a frenzy loss.
Grabinho, you saw 3 players already onto the side.
Lovely.
There's a 4th one there, and he's not able to do a thing, which
Okay,
leaves Shados on the
pistol
hot seat.
each. Right, Shados has a classic, no gun to pick up.
What, a snake bite to try and deny that Shower's positioning. Bora is the one that's low here towards Lamps.
Yeah, no longer the element of surprise. Shados is trying to go for the chase, although Pyro won't be shut down this time around. Ooh!
Nice shots, good swing from Pora.
Onto Elite's head,
Okay,
but that's BBL with a pistol.
let's see
ending the
what they got
streak
for
of
this.
Pistol success here for Koi.
Still not as confident as we would have liked that pistol round to be, though. Not as decisive from BBL. A great pistol, of course.
If you were in prison for a year,
up.
what is this question? If you were in prison for a year, and the only entertainment you could have is watching a single player's Valorant highlights, which player am I choosing?
The team forward.
It has to be,
But now,
let's think,
very
someone that's
strong buy coming in
entertaining,
here for BBL.
that
They're looking to have a
does
very
crazy stuff
strong
but has good
bonus
aim,
into the next round to contest
like
the anti-eco of
a
Koi to look towards the
Jing?
future.
Maybe Jing because he plays
Smoke.
good amount. Maybe
Towards
Jing,
B-Long.
maybe a Forsaken.
Sure,
Someone like that. Plays a good
garnered here for
good
the
range
side
of agents.
Koi.
Is also a
That's
little bit mad. Could be
dodgy
Angel.
push out there.
Could be
It's a
Angel,
pistol
but
round. You wanna
maybe
take
I would
some
lose
sort
my
of a
mind more
risk
being
here
in
for
prison.
Koi, and Kushner is there to read it in time. And back to full health. Thank you, Reezy.
I mean, sure, push out, find a little bit of that information, but I think when, especially B-Long is being stalled out that well just by
Yeah, I
his
think
smoke
I'd say.
alone,
I think I'd say.
leaves a little bit to be
Jing.
desired. Now the
Jing's
shift
an easy-
back
Jing's an
over
easy
towards
one.
the A site here for BBL.
Good question,
We've
I
only got a
think.
shorty in hand here for Shados towards Lamps. He's
Yeah,
gonna have to back off.
There's not
Let's
much
hope that never
can go
happens.
wrong, really, for BBL at this point. Although now that I do say that, Shadow's got a shorty, and if anybody crosses paths with him on this short proximity, it could be their demise. And a rifle collected perhaps, but I don't think BBL are planning to do that anytime soon, knowing
Good timing with the question as well. Asking a little crazy question on the
come in from
ecos.
Koi, the possibility of a shorty.
How'd you come up with that question, dude? Some people's brains just work differently.
Tense right now, Koi.
I mean,
Pretty
they're
cool.
just buying time.
Yeah, they're not doing much here. It's all about just trying to deny as much of that alt orb potential coming in here for BBL, and they're comfortable right now. They don't have to do anything too risky. They can play it.
Yeah, they built a
safe in that
tremendous lead.
regard.
They really have built a tremendous lead. Power and Reezy finding a couple kills here. Shadow the only one from Koi to find any damage.
Thanks for the question,
Shutting
bro.
down the IGL BBL for this one, but it's a round that BBL needed. The follow-up to the pistol, only losing one player, strong start, and it's exactly the direction they want to be looking at if they'll be closing this 8, well, now becoming a 6-round lead for Koi.
With the focus that we've seen going in towards Powera on the side of BBL, Rolling Thunder 3 away from coming online here. Could see some of that attention being drawn towards the extremities of the map. Try and get those ult orbs into pocket here for BBL. Again, they need every single advantage that they can find in each round with how much Koi does have to work with in that sense. As the round starts, very classic
All right.
lineup coming
Massive
in to try and deny some of
rounds.
that information towards Lamps.
You can already see a difference on how BBL like to push the map.
Crunch.
Koi, a lot of shower presence for them.
Imagine he got
Kushner
two.
that finds the first shot.
Can this
They
guy?
don't know
Yeah,
exactly where
good
Stark's
reaction.
gone.
Good reaction here. Lovely shots as well.
Everyone's falling for
Holy.
Reezy right now. The Rizzy, maybe.
Got a shout out Pora for helping his team out here as well.
On
Then
a 1v4. It's a lot to ask from the man.
Gets a plant for his ult as well for the next round. We got no money over towards here. 2,900 loss bonus after losing so many in a row. I say so many, it's only 3.
Look a lot more plausible, especially considering this was Koi's buy round, right? This was supposed to be BBL's bonus.
This is.
The fear though
This
for
has-
Koi is this
this
where it
has some
starts to
legs.
fall apart on
I
the
would
defense,
be
where they've
tempted
struggled
if I'm the
before.
coaching staff here. As the coaching staff here, I'd be tempted to do a pause. It's so early on. This could very quickly get a lot closer. So I think they have two, right? They might as well do one early.
I mean, they're slowly working their way into this, but we cannot deny still the lead.
It's a shame. I mean, they went through a showers crunch, but the tether didn't go far enough. And Riezi just did unreal. And they got a little bit of info in terms of the breach being really far back as well.
Well, Berlin definitely have chosen their favorites. BBL's name shouted across the room.
Actually, it's a lie. It looks like the tether hit.
Pretty quiet on the Koi side.
Actually, no, it would have had a trail.
It seems to be some belief reinstated within the fans, and for BBL, I'm sure there'll be hope that that's exactly the same for the players. They've been able to chain 3 rounds together, and Koi has signed the alarms. Time to rethink this through. How do you get control back in your favor? Obviously, you've got a lead, right? It's not a matter of overthinking here. It's a matter of going back to the tried and tested. Don't get into your head, don't get caught off early, perhaps.
Would Navi play against Heretics? Nah, it's random. Random draw out of the 4. The only rule is you can't play someone from your group, but that won't matter until we know who wins planes.
We can't forget though that it still was just the pistol in the anti-eco, so plenty of time for Koi to try and come back here. But again, with them being on this eco round themselves with the hero rifle, BBL looking to have a very similar start to their attacking side is exactly what Koi did to them into the first half.
So
and
in the timeout is great.
Towards is Koi's adjustments. What's worrisome is
it's nice and early.
BBL, I think they've done really well in the fights that they've been able to take after getting that spike planted as well, but we haven't even seen like a true post-plant situation from them. And that is where they really shined in their matchup up against Navi. The lineups were so frustrating to deal with, and Koi, when they are on those retakes, will have to fight so far forward to deny that.
That they do, but Koi need to prove themselves on defense. Maybe not
Classic
this one,
stun over towards Showers.
Maybe able to use that.
But Shadow should know about this. He was like one of the first to start using that stun over towards Showers whenever breach here. Skydog goes out towards Showers. They managed to see 2 of them. And we have to do a full retake. 3 people pushing behind. Yushin gets his ult for next round, potentially this one if he wants it. 2 people watching behind here.
Ultimate's available for them, Riezi. He's got the read, but how many stats can you pad? 1 for now, gets out, clean as ever. Realizes there's 1 on Heaven, gives out the ball. Camo shutting down a lead as soon as he peeks the corner. That's impressive. How many shots of like these are we going to be seeing? Maybe a second one.
Wait. Oh, that is an ult down as well.
And rifles is being collected here from Koi. They're going right after Brave, but Brave is good. Brave is strong.
Does the molly reach?
And Brave is Brave, and we'll be peeking through the smoke. Rubinho will be shutting him down.
Man, they get eco'd 45 HP, 21 HP.
The round is theirs, even when it shouldn't be.
They hit some shots though.
The way they were just able to manage the control of
gotta shout out the attack pause impact.
On those close quarters and making it uncomfortable for BBL to maintain
that
positioning towards front sight.
And he won this. He literally won this.
BBL calling one of their own because Koi now 1 away from match point. And again, this is a tall mountain to climb.
He gets all of the praise for that.
Oh yeah, it's a tall order.
Definitely the coaches share a little bit as well with the timeout timing. Good plan on this one, 3-person push behind, but he really hit some shots.
Right? It's the condition where they were able to streak rounds together. You know, you can allow Koi to win 1 buy round of their own, but it can't be the bonus. It can't be the pistol. No. It can't be the save, you know?
I mean, that can fully stop the momentum that was starting to build
yeah,
on the attack.
For sure it is, man.
And then the big thing too, Q-Sure popped that showstopper just a second before
slow
he
playing
got
now
taken
against
out
Sky
is cool that we're not going to be able to
it's so good
because
a lot of how the defense on this map used to work was just you just get info towards long B, and then obviously if the util hits, then you bring your 3rd person over towards B site. And then if the util doesn't, the third person can kind of stay over towards A. Now you have to be a little bit smarter with like your gathering of information. It's just a lot harder to have 3 people all the time. It is definitely the biggest thing that the solo like info initiator struggles with on this map. Like I'm telling you, Koi's whole plan was just like so good on attack.
Great line as far as that fault line goes, just to find a little bit of delay in any sight lines there for Koi. Alrighty, they're changing the pace this time. BBL looking to just fully take A site right off the gate.
I've got your trail.
Hold and tested. We know this is exactly how Koi have allowed BBL to move onto site so far. It's a matter how they retake it. Kushner pressured here from Showers as 2 have popped out of the TP. And you can see it
a lot down to this fade ult. If Camo gets a kill, he gets ult. Fade ult goes in. They only spot 1. But that's also pretty good info.
And they're limited into the lamps area. Shorts as well. 1 left on site.
Yeah, and that's the ult we're talking about with that kill. Yushin is going for a hero play, gets taken down.
Shadows quick to the trigger though, and Power is burning.
And it fell apart pretty fast. Molly comes down on the spike, no smoke. Yeah, no smoke up on that. Ran out of that juice. And these kills don't matter too much. 7 chances.
But the round means that Koi are 1 away from closing out map number 1.
Yeah, match point here for Koi, and that was clinical coming out from them. The way that they knew that, okay, you have the Nightfall to work with, that's going to force BBL off of the site, back in towards short, or Showers, where you have the TP having come in, further retake from the B long players on the side of Koi. And then on top of that, it's just making that post plant so comfortable for them. BBL, they can't comfortably play for those lineups. It's threatened in that sense. Now, information garnered here.
Flash
BBL
goes down. We secure that we can get the ult into this round.
To really contest B long, I think, on any of these rounds.
And it might be the wrong round to do it, considering there's so many on the P proximity on the defender side of things. Of course, there's a bit of a crossfire setup here, and the Boombot hoping to seek out Shados as well, and it will do so. So Kushner holding the line will make Shados uncomfortable to peek it himself, so he's going to nestle himself into that corner as BBL bide their time and give the idea to Koi that they might be rotating to A.
Well, I mean, BBL off the utility usage here from Koi, they know that 4 are stacked over towards B. They saw the Viper Snakebite, they saw the Boombot coming out from Camo, and then there was that early guiding light.
This is nice from Koi.
Not going to be able to get that smoke
the
from
instant
Grabinho.
double push.
He's over towards A.
But the push from B and means that Koi,
they struggle to get info, but this is a good way of doing it. They do use the flash, but he's now fast on the flank. Starkso gets a kill, he gets his well, they're gonna tether. Starkso gets a kill, he gets his Seekers. We still have Grabinho's Grim ult that he picked up into this round, and they might struggle to get a plant down here if they want to use util and ults. Yep. Starkso's got to go back, knowing that the delay is so strong that they might TP. Lovely shot. Mate, Camo's looking crisp. His aim is ridiculous.
So they need to be quick with this, but they're not. Grabinho wins another fight. And Starkso hasn't even made his presence known yet. It's all down to Grabinho.
They played this very, very well. Like, the whole attack game plan is just like perfect. This whole 30 seconds holding, waiting for sky flashes, making sure no one's pushing behind them is perfect. One person fake, they can't get info on other parts of the map, so they're just falling for the one person fake. Heavy rotation in, and yeah, everything was... This was very nice to watch for Koi.
Very,
very nice.
Well, Split is
Solid
up next,
game
so
plan.
don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after this.